We back at it. We gonna do another little walkthrough. Now, this is an early childhood park. This is Matthews Park right here. Spent a lot of time here. We still over south, y'all. Now you wonder, like, okay, where's he getting this footage? I'm after work, so I parked over south instead of having to park downtown. Now I'm gonna pull in this parking lot a little bit. You see this playground right here? If it's any different, I got my ass whooped by about 5-6 people right there. I got jumped in like the 2nd grade. And this is the Seward Montessori School. I have not been here in years. There has been some of the most amazing experiences in my life. I think it's still called Seward. If I see it, I'll shout it out. We had the choice to stay here or go to Ann Sullivan. We chose to go to Ann Sullivan. I don't know why my parents chose that, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Seeing a couple black folks. Now on this block, my aunt had this house. I'm gonna try to turn around in the driveway. Yep, it gets, see if I can park, turn around. All right. Damn, I almost went bad. Not this house right here, but you can't really see it. Damn. It was a blue house. It's actually for sale. Ironically, it's actually for sale. Now, I think this church right here, off to the right, it's an Ethiopian church, Zion Ethiopian. That church, I think my grandmother's people, some of their friends or something, one of the pastors ran that church or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But it was this church or a church a couple blocks away. It was one or the other. Not too much things notable here. The Seward neighborhood is a pretty decent neighborhood. It's went downhill because there's been too many lanes around there. That's been the main issue. But as you can see, you got kids walking their dogs. This got sold. That house got sold. You know they ain't gonna last. Houses do not last long around here. I'm gonna tell you. They don't. They just don't. They don't last long. Now we might go on West River Road again. I'll probably cut down this block real quick, and it brings you right into River Road immediately. Now this side of I always like kind of going through here when I was younger, you know, or coming down this block. Now this is a one-way. This is 33rd and Minneapolis Avenue. Now as you can see, you know, you're starting to go towards West River Road. There's no walkthrough. People ain't walking through. You don't have a bunch of lames, or you don't really have the homeless out, and you know, you don't really have a lot of that because there's literally nowhere to roost. This almost feels somewhat like the suburbs, 24th or 34th Avenue. Okay, and then it's bringing us right into West River Road. Immediately, it's bringing you right into West River Road, and then there's a one-way street that I could have brought y'all down, but this is West River Road Parkway, the legendary West River Road. I know I've been meaning to bring y'all to the other side of West River Road, but remember last time, at one point I think I was on the train and I was talking about it, but we just gonna keep on. I'm just giving y'all, you know, and y'all can just sit there and y'all can just watch whatever you watch, and you know, just kind of be looking at the scene. You need probably $500,000 to stay over here. Yeah, you're not going to be making 60,000, 70,000 over here like that. If you stay over here, you probably going to be making 100 to 170. Just because of, I mean, you can literally jump off the damn cliff over here. The river's on the left-hand side. You can jump off the cliff and do a cliffhanger. You could get your Sylvester Stallone on. If you look at these houses on the side, and it's not too far from Franklin. That's the ironic part. Franklin Avenue has always kind of been off the chain. It's not far from Franklin. So you could see where people got the money. And people, you don't see these homes up for sale very long. People ain't selling these houses all like that over here. I almost consider this the suburb of the suburb when it comes to South Minneapolis. I'm talking about the Seward area. It's almost like living in the suburbs. So you don't have to leave the suburbs. If you really want to buy a house, if they ever sell it, because that's not something common. And as you can see, there's no alleys. So it's almost like a suburban neighborhood. There's no alleys. None. See, back a couple blocks away, you had alleys. Ain't no alleys right here like that. You ain't creeping. You see, ain't no sidewalk either. Basically, you park, you do your thing, and you keep it moving. Now, on the left-hand side, there's a sidewalk. I haven't panned around so y'all can see that. But this reminds me of Summit. I decided to just take the streets today. You know what I'm saying? When I come over south, sometimes it hardly pays to take the freeway because, you know, around this time, it just gets real janky. Now, this could bring us up to Lake Street, or I could keep on going, which I will do. I'm going to keep on going. That look weird, of course. You see people can bike, and I mean, you're kind of seeing what the neighborhood is like. Like, you could bike. You're not really going to have too many problems. You know, every now and then there's a robbery or something lame that's messing with people on the bikes or whatever the case may be, but not really. You know, you see this white lady here. She's just kind of just walking along. She ain't worried about much. You know, she getting her little walk on, got her earphones. She ain't worried about a damn thing. She ain't worried. The Danish American Center. They got their Heritage Center. I'm not knocking it. You got the Minnehaha Academy Charter School, prep school over here. You're going to pay an arm and a leg if you want your kid to probably go there 9 times out of 10. Still on West River Road. If I had the GoPro camera or whatever, it might be a little better, but you know. For anybody that just wants to kind of, you know, just go through memory lane. And this goes far. You see it goes away. Now, remember when I was over there by Fort Snelling? I couldn't get a lot of the footage because I kept running out of memory. You know, it was only 64 gigs on this thing. And, you know, all the other stuff is saved up in the cloud. So I said, okay, I just moved it on up and hoped that it didn't delete it. So it's up there. It's up there. When I get a new phone, I might bring it back down. Still on West River Road. I want y'all to look at these houses. When I be doing my little broadcast, I don't be BSing. I'm showing y'all the real. I'm telling y'all what the rules are. The rule is you gonna make 150 to 300 if you want to be over here. And we ain't even hit Edina and Eden Prairie and all that. Actually, I think there goes a house right there. There goes a house right there, Edina Realty. I knew Edina Realty was gonna have something to do with it. That little old house right there probably going for 9. Easy. There goes another house that's for sale. Now I've been riding down this thing for a minute, and that's the what? The second house I saw for sale? Yeah, 9. Minimum. I'm not talking about a 9 max. I'm talking about a 9 minimum. You coming up with 900. Minimum. And it's a beautiful day. It's just hot as hell. It's like 90s, a heat advisory out right now, but it's a beautiful day. At night, I don't typically ride this at night, but I think one day I'm gonna do a night ride with y'all. Y'all can see. One of these days I'm gonna do a night ride, and then in St. Paul, on the west side, they got something that rivals to this. They have something. They don't call it West River Road. It's another one in St. Paul. but it's on the west side. You just got to cross the bridge. And I think I got some of that footage for you guys before. I really need like a 256 gig or a 512. You know what I'm saying? I think those are like the bigger phones. I'm about to check it out, but I think they come standard. You know, like the 14s, the iPhone 14s come standard with like a 128. But shit, I need the I need a 512. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I need. Real talk. All right, we still going there. We're on 44th. Now, if I bust a right here, it will probably bring you back over south. Like, I mean, we're over south, but we're really on the edge of being where St. Paul. And you could still walk. You could literally walk up West River Road. I mean, you could walk a long time. You could jog. I think West River Road might go for about, it brings you almost all the way to Minnehaha Falls, where I think it brings you almost to Minnehaha Falls, if I'm not mistaken, because the lock and dam number 1. Okay, let's see. So we'll keep going. This is a nice little area right here. I think it's public property. I'm not sure what that bridge was right ahead of me. But now, Wildburn Picnic Area, Godfrey Parkway. And this is 46. Now, if I were to take a right here, I could kind of hop on where the light rail is a little bit. I'm not going to do that. I guess they're going to let me go. Vendor parking. They must got something going on up here. Hey, like, we're still going, y'all. We're still going. Now, that's a little playground right here. And this is Minnehaha Park. So remember, that's Minnehaha Park. Beautiful park. We have, that's one thing about Minneapolis, man. We got a lot of parks. If you're constructive and open-minded, where you don't where you know you're open to the outdoors. See this Minnesota, let me tell y'all about Minnesota. Minnesota is not built for people that don't want to kind of enjoy the outdoors when you know when it's decent, and even in the cold. People want to be outdoors generally. And it's the roundabout. So let me see where this is gonna bring me. Minnehaha Avenue. See, that's by Minnehaha. I always go to that Dairy Queen. Now, that's the information center. Last time I got wrapped up. So I'm just gonna go this way. Now those buildings you can see, those are fairly new. Now, we're not in the suburbs, y'all. I'm just telling y'all. But, like, if somebody were to say, well, man, I'm from the city. They're not talking about over here. Now, this is Minnehaha Parkway. Now, I was supposed to go the other way. Honestly, I really was supposed to go the other way. And go through Ford Parkway. So I might end up turning around. Now, this eventually brings you to where, remember where I mentioned Washburn and all them, all those different places I was talking about, kind of in the, what they call the 50s, because this is 34th. So what I'm probably gonna do, I'm just gonna bust a left. I don't want to go all the way down here. I'm gonna bust a left. I'm gonna pause. All right. Now, as you can see, we're, all I did is just, there was no point to just sit there and have y'all sit and just, plus I could save myself some memory. Look how nice these houses over here do. This is not Edina. This is not Eden Prairie. This is Hennepin County suburb, or Hennepin County. This is considered to be Minneapolis. Real talk. It's considered to be Minneapolis. So we was just on Minnehaha Parkway. We're on East Minnehaha now. Now, if I bust a left, it's gonna bring me back towards like Lake Street and where they burned the police station down. But see, I want to get this Longfellow Garden Park right here. I'm telling you, this place is the land of milk and honey. All right, America's Byway Information Center. That's Minnehaha Falls. Now, I don't want to go into the falls and it's Godfrey Parkway. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get back to, was it 46th? So I stopped. So I'm trying to get back to 46. And something's telling me, I'm trying to remember how to do it. Oh, we gonna get there. Oh, I see. Okay. So I need to be up top. That's the Veterans Home, Minneapolis, right over here. So I need to get up top. Okay, I think they're just gonna let me go. Yeah, so remember I said that bridge. Even over here, this is 46. Over here, you might have you might need a couple bucks. So now we're gonna go across St. Paul. Now I don't have too many experiences working in wait a minute. Okay, yeah. It's like I said, it's been a while, y'all. I don't. Now, the last time I brought y'all over here, now I spent a lot of time in my childhood going to this Baker Square, Old Country Buffet and stuff like that. You know, my mom used to bring us over here. Now you see, you can't see it, I can see it, but the lock and dam is right there. That's a good place for you to bring your kids. But as you can see now, we're officially in St. Paul. So when they say the Twin Cities, we're officially in St. Paul. Down there's a building. Maybe one day I'll hop out. But I want y'all to understand, when we talk about Black American freedmen, the foundationals, the people that made cars what they are, this Ford plant that used to be this Ford plant right over here, let me pan around. But this Ford plant, you know what? I think I'm about to go through there and show y'all. I'm gonna bust a right. Mount Kerr Boulevard. Now, this M Health thing, I don't remember it being there when I was a kid. The Rise Dispensary, so they selling weed out the Baker Square. They should have kept the pies. They selling weed out the Baker Square. This is on Mount Kerr Boulevard. They're still building stuff up. Now look at this. None of this was here, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. This right here, I mean, look at all these apartments and buildings. This was nothing flat. This was just flat. The old Ford plant, it was old as hell. I'm just bringing y'all through here. They got, I don't know how much they charge for this stuff. I mean, it's big money. Got the little white kid with the Somalian kid walking. I think some of it is, I think it's like section, not section 8, but section 30. They still building. This is fairly new, y'all. I'm just bringing y'all around. This was the entire Ford plant. So when I talk about Detroit, and when you talk about Cadillac, and when you talk about Chevrolet, you had a lot of black folks that was working in these plants, building America's automotive system. Don't never let any of these folks tell us, well, y'all ain't got no culture. You understand? Now this is Mississippi River Avenue. I'm gonna come down here. Matter of fact, let me go down one more time. Just to show y'all, this was the entire Ford plant. Now look at these homes that they're selling. Those are like the sustainable homes. That's going for about a ticket at least. maybe 2. See, before I brought y'all on one side of the Ford, of not Ford, but this area, Highland Park. Now look, you still see the river. Now this is the river. This is the St. Paul River Road, overlooking the Lock and Dam. It's a beauty. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a beauty. This is scenic overlook, the Ford Dam. So you can park right here. And just for the sake of it, I'm about to pull over, and I'm just gonna show y'all what the Lock and Dam looks like. Out Ford Dam scenic overlook, and this is something that I was listening to on a the black media channels, saying, hey, you being a black American, you could start going to all these places that have some historic relevance to foundationals and start doing a tour guide. Now this is the dam. Now, of course, I don't know. It could have been some brothers that had something to do with this, but this is just the dam. So you had some strong engineers. That's across the street. So that's just a scenic route. I'm just showing y'all a scenic route on this very beautiful day. My car running, so I'm gonna let it back. You pretty cool over here. You can leave your car running. Can't do that everywhere. But look at that. Beautiful. This was the Ford plan. I'm getting my historian on. None of this was here years ago. Look at them houses. This ain't the suburbs, y'all. I'm telling you, this ain't the suburbs, but they're modeling it like the suburbs. All right, let's get back in the car. They're modeling it like it's the suburbs. That's what they're doing. Nothing wrong with that. Wonder how I could get this thing out the way. Hold on, y'all. You come out on a little date like this. They don't like Cheesecake Factory. Nigga, please. They talking about they don't like the Cheesecake Factory. You come on, yeah, this is a scenic route. Hey, baby, let me show you around a little bit. Well, I don't like that. Well, I'll find somebody else. That's how you answer that. I want 5-star. Yeah, you ain't made it that level, baby, yet. Ford Motor Company Twin Cities plant. Should I hop out and give y'all that? We'll do it another time. Yeah, this was the Ford engineer. For the Ford engineering plant. This was an entire plant. You would have never thought it was like this. I might find a documentary and actually put it in here. All right. So now we're just going the scenic route. This is the scenic route. Now we're on not West River Road. I consider it still River Road. They call it Mississippi Road, I think. We're just on the other side. Some people would argue that they like the St. Paul side. To be honest, Highland Park over here. Now you want to talk about some other big money. You see, Highland Park, you really got to have some paper to stay over there too. Now look, we're still on the scenic route. You can still see. Now this is I don't know. They made it like a native name or something. I don't know. I've never taken this before. But as you can see, you're still on the Park Drive. All right, McAuffin Avenue. I wonder if I should come through here. I'm just gonna keep on going. I'm gonna go through the neighborhood. I know now. If you were to see these houses overlooking right now, you can't get these for $900. You need a ticket. Yeah, I don't think you could get none of these for $900. Not really. No. Oh, hell no. Nah, 3. Yeah, I think you're gonna need 3 tickets for some of these. I've never taken this road before, y'all. So I'm just I think this will bring you all the way to the west side. Let's see how far it goes. You know, when I was a child, my dad would, mainly not on this side, but on the other side, we would look at the houses on West River Road. When it was like Halloween or Christmas, mainly Christmas, we would drive past. And that looked like an antebellum house almost, antebellum style or something. Oh yeah, these are very, very nice homes. And these folks probably don't even be home half the time because they working. You know what I'm saying? And they maintaining it. And there's nothing wrong with that. When I was a kid, I used to kind of wonder, like, man, I wish I could talk to these people and just ask, like, what do they do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do they do? So now we're on Cleveland. This is Cleveland Avenue. And my bad about this little thing being in the way, y'all. But I used to wonder as a child, like, what do these people do? This one got sold. I knew that wasn't going to last long. It's not as nice as the other ones, but it's still pretty damn nice. They keep their grass cut. I tell you that. Now, you would think this would be in the suburbs. We are not in the suburbs. Highland Park, I guess you could consider it to be. It's St. Paul, but we're still in St. Paul. But now here's some apartments. That's senior living, though. So, you know, they're not going to put no Section 8 right here, nothing like that. No, no, no. And that senior living, probably an arm and a damn leg. Hidden Falls Regional Park. It says share the road, so you could go down there. I'm going to go ahead and bust a left right here to bring me to 5. Or wherever. I don't know. Where is this bringing me? Uh-oh. 5. If I'm not mistaken, that's one of my favorites. I really like 5 because it gives you that scenic route. Okay, let's see where it brings me. I think 5 brings you to the airport, which I don't really want to go. Fort Snelling. All right, I'm about to get off, y'all. I don't want to be on 5. That 62 right here brings you to Minneapolis, 55, Hiawatha, which will bring you all the way back towards downtown. Fort Snelling is over here. 62. So let's see where this is going to bring me. I don't want to go to neither one, but I guess I ain't got a choice. I really don't. So that's 5. It says the airport. I don't really want to go there, but let's just keep on going. Let me see. I'll get off at the next exit because I want to get away from 5. This brings you to the airport. So now we headed towards the airport. I'm at turnaround. You usually don't have a ton of traffic coming out of here. There's Post Road. Terminal 1, Terminal 2. Like I said, I didn't really want to go to the airport because I don't have a reason to go. So, but let's see. I wonder if there's a way where I can get off 5 up here. Nah, I can't get off. I gotta follow it. Damn it. Well, I didn't want to go to the airport at all. Well, guess we're going to the airport, y'all. This is where all your Instagram chicks getting flued out. I don't think that's gonna be happening too much no more. Parking, arrivals. So we're at Terminal 1. This is what I typically take. I usually take Terminal 1 most of the time. So if you ever end up in my situation where you end up at the airport, just follow it and turn around. You'll be okay. They did a lot of modifications to the airport last time I hopped on a plane, which is when I went to Chicago to bury my aunt. I don't know if I'll be on a plane anytime soon anywhere, but if I do, it's probably gonna be somewhere like Chicago. You you know, to visit my folks. You know, I have a lot of information on my mother's side, but I got to start digging on my dad's side. You know what I'm saying? That's where I need to start digging. Delays ahead, use lanes. Let me see if he's gonna let me in. Cause I don't, like I said, I don't really need to do anything. I just need to get up out of here. Yeah, I just need to get up out of here. Commercial valet. Oh, hell. Doors, 3, 4. Well. They don't even let you. Oh, okay, yeah, man, it's busy. Oh, it's busy today. Busy's good. Busy means people making money. I ain't got to pick nobody up, so I'm just going to keep on pushing. I'll just keep recording, y'all. Just rock out with me. Rock out with me. Yeah, they don't even let the Ubers pick up, you know, before the cabs and stuff. They make them park somewhere else. They make them park somewhere else. You gotta take a shuttle somewhere and do all this here. You know, but you drop people off. And they be on it, man. They don't let you just kind of sit around. They do pretty good up here. It's busy. It's busy. You know, Minneapolis, you would think with Minneapolis that, well, it's not, oh, they doing some construction. They doing a lot over here. Damn. They doing a whole terminal or something. Hey, man, they ain't playing. So if you live in Richfield, that's easy access to the airport. See, that's another thing y'all got to keep in mind. See, okay, is that 5 St. Paul? That's where I want to be. Yep, 5 to St. Paul. I love 5, man. They got this Italian spot that my wife took me on my birthday, and it was called, I don't remember the name, but Buca's? Was it Buca's or something like that? 5 East. There we go. Yeah, it just brings you back around. They do a good job at that. I ain't gonna lie. And if you want to go to Bloomington, right by the Mall of America, if you coming in, you know what I'm saying? If you coming in, Bloomington's off to your right. All right, so we're gonna take 5 back to Minneapolis. Yeah, usually, see, I'm home by now. Most of the time, I'm home. I'm home by now, so we just gonna take to 5 to St. Paul, and we'll just rock it out from there. Yeah, this is one of my favorite routes because it brings you on this one place. And I was going to move over there at one point to some apartments. This was kind of like when I was, was it 2013, 2014 or something like that. I was thinking about moving. But I wanted to get myself a lot more stable. So Shepherd Road is in half a mile. So Shepherd Road is one of my favorite roads. It's one of my favorites. So let me see if I can get in. See if they're gonna let me in. Shepherd Road, I love Shepherd Road, man. You go to River, you can't see that. So I'm getting off on Shepherd Road right here. And as you can see, St. Paul. Yeah, this is one of my I really like this road. because what it does, it brings you all the way across. And if you take the Amtrak, you'll see. You'll see. Now that road off to the right, I don't know what this road, where this road is. I'm not sure. But it's probably on the side of the river, it looks like. That's what it looks like to me. So this is the Watergate Marina for river cruises. So I guess that's where it goes. Next time we'll go down there and take a look. Now this is the airport parking. There's an airport right over here too. Shepherd Road Airport parking. So I don't know what that parking is for, because there's another airport in St. Paul. So maybe people just park here too. I don't know. I don't know why, but it's a little ways from the airport. But I'm assuming there's a shuttle over there. Now, if you look off to your left, you can't really see it too well, but it's some apartment buildings. Now this, it almost feels like the suburbs over here. It's got some black folks standing outside. I don't typically see black folks over here that often, but you know, the city's changing. One thing in life that will happen is it will change. But yeah, this is, y'all ask, if I do a trivia ever, I say, what's my favorite road? My favorite road is Shepherd Road in St. Paul. That's my favorite road. Because you see, I get the road. If I don't want to go all the way through the city and I just want to get to the east side real fast, and I'm coming from Richfield or wherever I'm coming from the airport, man, I can just hop on Shepherd Road and just rock out. There go a power plant, some more apartment buildings. Yeah, you get to rock out. You know, I'm doing like 60 miles per hour right now. Lexington Parkway, you can take off to the left. I like Lexington Parkway. I'm gonna be honest, I do. I like Lexington Parkway. I used to deliver packages, you know, maybe about 6 months ago or something like that. A little more, back in, because at one point it got kind of cold. So let me think. Was it October, September? I was delivering packages primarily on the weekend. Now this is Lexington Parkway. This goes off to your right and your left. If you take Lexington Parkway all the way to the left, that should bring you all the way up to Frogtown. If you take it to the right, they got something called the Crosby Farm and Crosby Farm Regions. Let's go ahead and go down there and see what we can see. This is a regional park. Well, there's actually nothing in here. I thought it was gonna be like a little road that brings me in, but I'm assuming it's just a way for you to just walk around, because you can see people parked so people can walk around and maybe take their bikes to do whatever. So maybe that's the end of it. So, and that's what I'm trying to say. If you are a brother, sister, and you come here, you can't come here with the mentality of, well, man, Minnesota ain't nothing to do, it's whack or whatever like that. You gotta put it in perspective. Like, you see these mountains and these little trees and caves and all this kind of thing. That's what you gotta be open to. You can't just say, well, I just want to kick it and smoke a blunt or drink or do whatever. You know, you got to be open to saying, hey, I want to go to Taylor Falls. I want to take an hour or 2 hour trip camping or something like that, you know, outside the city. You got to be open to that, and you can do it. You don't have to just look at it from a party city advantage. I just want to raise my family, and I want to go on family events. It's plenty of that. Here's another reason why I love Shepherd Road. It's so old school. And I'm like a rustic kind of guy. I like that old school feeling. I don't really need the futuristic feeling. I like that old town, like when you see these little you're gonna see these mills in a minute. I really like those. And some of them, they're doing remodeling for some of that stuff. We're on Otto Avenue here. It looks like there's some apartments that look fairly new. You know, I can't give you guys a lot of stories about Shepherd. The only story that I have that's close to Highland Park, that's close to Shepherd, is, yeah, I don't really have anything. It's a lot of pastoral, like me just taking Shepherd and just passing through St. Paul. Off to your left, it looks a little like West River Road, but not quite. The houses don't look as good, but they're decent. And you gonna pay to play over here too. It ain't gonna be cheap. It ain't gonna be real cheap. It ain't cheap nowhere, but it definitely ain't gonna be cheap over there. So we're still doing about 40 minutes of footage. We're still doing 40. As you can see, this is a long road, and this ain't the kind of road that, now we're on Randolph. Now, if you bust a left and take Randolph, off to your left, you see the Smiths. It looks like, I don't know what they got down there. But on Randolph, if you take a right, I don't know where Randolph goes off to your right. It probably brings you to the west side. It's worth taking a look. I'll take a little glance as we pass by, because we might do this again. All right, where's that bring you? That looks like that brings you over to the River Road on the west side. Yep. Oh, it's beautiful over there. It is stunning. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of parks. You don't have to just be... There's so many parks and so many outdoor places and so much. So a lot of times people will say, well, it's not so much to do maybe from being social. Now you have the railroad line over here. From you got to think. A lot of times people will come here and they'll say there's nothing to do. If you got money, you can make stuff to do. Literally, you could do stuff if you got money. Now, if you ain't got no money, you're gonna look at it from a standpoint like, well, I ain't got nothing to do, because you can't do anything. You're right. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing. So that means you're gonna have to sit down and figure out a way on how to get your life to the point where you can do something. So a lot of people from out of town, and you'll hear them say this from different states, man, ain't nothing to do. Back there, we used to kick it. So when you ask these niggas what they used to do, they don't mention any museums. They're talking about sitting around on the block and just drinking with family members and kicking it and talking shit. Because it's lively and it's so much. That's their idea. I've heard people say this many a time. Well, there's nothing to do. Because where they come from, they're just sitting around the block. They're not actually doing stuff to learn. Because when I start asking people, hey, what's your museums like? Oh man, we don't really go to the museums. What? We don't go here. We don't go to that. We don't go to that aquarium. We don't go to that. And I'm like, okay. So what do you do different than you do here? And to be quite honest, it's not much. It's not much. Now you can see the Lumen building, which is really the CenturyLink building, which is Quest. It's just Quest. It's I'm trying to remember the name. They changed the name 1,000 times. Big telecom company, DSL, internet, all that. They do fiber now. Now this is Eagle Parkway. These buildings right here, I don't even think are even 15 years old. Now this is not the suburbs. Once again, this is St. Paul. Now, when people say, I'm from the city, they're not talking about over here, though. So I want you to think of the mind of a retired white person. I see a retired couple right there. I know they ain't retired. I mean, I know they retired. I'm quite sure. They got the boats over there, the tugboats. We're still on Shepherd, one of my favorites. Now, you can see the backdrop of downtown St. Paul. You're going to have less lames walking around because they're not just going to kind of be able to just sit around here. There's not nothing. You're not going to be able to. Now that bridge right there, very familiar with that bridge. That's the west side. Next time we'll go do that. Very beautiful outlook. It reminds me of Memphis when you come in. There's another bridge. You see the Comcast building off to your right. I had an interview there. That interview was a trip. I'm telling you, this heifer was something else. I'll give you a little story about that. I was at the Comcast interview, and the questions that she asked me with the experience I had on my resume was blatantly just disrespectful. And I know they're going to ask questions and all that. You see that little riverfront right here? Beautiful. It's very nice. But see, that's what I'm saying. You have to be open. You have to be open to saying, well, let me just go down here and just look. I mean, it's not much to look at, but you got to be open to just being out and having constructive conversations. You got to be open to that. Now, that's 52 that I'm going under right now. I spent a lot of time going over there. See, as black people, we got to be open to just making memories and sometimes living in those memories. Sometimes you just got to live in the memory, man. Sometimes you can't just say, well, oh, there's nothing to do. You got to make something to do. You got to be open to making something to do, man. Like, I love this. Look at these trains on the side. Some people say, well, you know, them get some old ass trains. Damn it, those trains have been bringing you everything you need your whole life. Our folks built those trains. See, that's what I start looking at. Who was the black men on them railroads? So your black ass can have a t-shirt or a car or a Cadillac on 22s. Or you could have a table or a pair of J's. Those were brothers that was sitting on them railroads. And see, that's what we got to bring up anytime we're told we don't either have culture or, hey, you know, y'all didn't do nothing, or, you know, somebody that ain't been here 5 minutes shows up off a damn lifeboat and starts lecturing us about what we don't do or what we don't know and why and we're lost and all this. No, we not. You had brothers that built this kind of stuff, this bridge we riding on, clearing out the dismal swamps. We got to start saying some of this shit with our chest out. Hold on, nigga. We did build this. We put those railroads together. You look at them old pictures. You see brothers. You see a white man on a horse and you see brothers. We got to start. We got to realliterate that every time. So you ain't going to be able to colonize or whitewash our history of these last 400 years in this land. See, you don't really hear the same story. No disrespect. You don't hear those stories in other places to that same degree. You don't. Some people might be mad. Well, you know, no. You don't hear it. Now, off to 61 South, this will bring you to Hastings. Now, I'm going to tell you about Hastings. We thought about looking at Hastings. Surprisingly, there was a decent amount of black folks in Hastings. It's about 20 miles out. It's not a suburb. I don't believe it's Hennepin County. But what I will say, I brought my son to a construction site.